Hello and welcome to Go Johnny Go. Today I'm going to cover a project that I finished recently. This is a 2005 Brian Lopes Special Edition GT frame. Absolutely beautiful. It's new old stock, so it's from 2005. It's never been built up or used. There's an FSA headset on it, a GT seat clamp and a rear derailleur hanger. Apart from that, it's a bare frame. A couple of small storage marks, as you can see, and it's been knocked around a little bit, but overall it's in really good condition. And yeah, I got a load of parts to put on it. So I suppose the Shimano disc brakes, hydraulic disc brakes. This frame can run V-brakes or hydraulic disc brakes, and we've gone for disc brakes in this build, just to kind of keep it up to date and modern. So the Shimano MT401s, nice XLC handlebar, leak-proof seat, leak-proof front stem, some leak-proof stem spacers, and we're going 10 speed on this. And I got some really nice pedals from AliExpress, which is quite a surprise, around the €10 mark. It's a 26-inch specific fork. It's a RockShox, and I've had this on one other bike before, but only for a couple of months, and to be honest, it's quite fresh and new. Brand new bottom bracket, brand new 160mm rotors, and these Mavic cross rides. These are absolutely beautiful wheels for not too much money, so really nice. Obviously new tires, crankset is in there, and new tubes. So overall, I'm really happy with the ingredients I've got for this build, and very lucky to build up something like this. There were some issues with this build as we went through it. I was hoping to get this all built up in one day, but this build, even though it's new old stock, it fought me a little bit. You can see this time lapse here where I build up the wheels. This went absolutely perfect, but as we go on to the next section, time lapse, you can see me struggling. I got the right hand side bottom bracket in, absolutely no problem, sailed in. Unfortunately, the left hand side, the non-drive side, it just wouldn't go in, kept popping out, just giving trouble. It was like it was cross-threading, and it would get to a certain point and then pop out. So new old stock frame. Unfortunately, at some stage somebody had dropped this frame, and it seemed like it just slightly threw the treads out of round on the non-drive side for this GT. It's me struggling with it there, and this is me realising that I'm going to be beaten by this today. I'm not going to get it all finished all at once. So I'm just looking at my options, and I phoned two local bike shops. One said they couldn't go near it, and the other one said they had a jig and to bring it on over. So after I brought it over to them, and they re-topped the treads, both sides, and the left hand side, or non-drive side, was the worst. This was absolutely perfect. This side went in no problem. They cleaned it up just in case, and this side they had to put in the jig and actually grind it out with their professional tool, bottom bracket tool, and they did some job. They also recommended that I go for this new, neater bottom bracket. The treads on the old one had gotten a little bit bashed, and plus this one just looks a lot neater and really complements the build. There's a lot of black ancillary, like seat post and handlebars on this bike, so it actually goes with it really well, and overall I'm really pleased that I went for this option, although it's hard to swallow the cost at the time. Unfortunately, this wasn't the only issue I was going to have during the build. The bottom bracket was the initial issue, but there's two other issues after this, which we will cover as we hit them in the video. So a time lapse now of this bike being thrown together rather quickly. Rear wheel on, front fork on, front wheel on, handlebars on, and the crank going in. I wish they could all be built up this quick in real life, but they take a bit of an age. Those pedals from AliExpress were really impressive, and less so was the Sensa 10 speed I went with. I eventually did swap it out to a Dior, and to match everything Shimano up. Unfortunately, the lighting wasn't great in this section here, but just fettling the brakes, getting the hydraulics cut down to size so there's not these big loops, so they're nice and neat. You can see here I'm just adjusting the front and rear hydraulic hoses for the brakes. I also run a gear line and set up that sensor rear derailleur, and here I'm just sizing up the chain. There was a small issue with this chain. I can't remember what it was, but it seemed to hang at the end of this section, and then when you see the next section I take it off the stand and it seems to have found its tension properly there. So if you just look at the difference in this one, it's tensioned up there and looking good. I'm just doing some final checks and first little spin around the garden there. So to go from this with one or two problems, this was one of them. I really had to work to get that out, and finally we ended up with something like this. But there was a bit of a sting in the tail with this one, whereas I built it up. I couldn't get the headset to seat properly, and I ended up having to get the shop to put in a new full headset system because I couldn't spot it, but there was a dent on the bottom cone and it just wouldn't hold bearings. It couldn't get tension without there being knocking in that front suspension. You can also see that I got the V-brake eventually out there and used these lovely caps that block off V-brake holes just so it really finished it off instead of leaving them blank. Just that final little touch. That's the section that obviously got a little bit of a tap at some stage in storage, and just threw that out around. So if you're going to cut aluminium, don't use heat, use a jig and use a proper professional bottom bracket resurfacing tool or spinning tool. The hydraulic brakes, these MT401s are absolutely beautiful. Loads of control out of them, everything I ever need. So this is a small frame bike. I'm not a very big guy, and yeah, 26-inch wheels, really flickable, really nice, really beautiful bike to ride. So here we have the finished product. We did go with a Shimano DR shifter up front. Those MT401 Shimano front hydraulic brakes, really nice. Went with a Morton stem up front, which the shop fitted. I could have fitted it myself, but I threw it in the business. Wanted this project finished. It was in their capable hands. Those wheels are lovely. Those cross rides, Mavic really do some quality stuff. And those Rapid Rob Schwabble tires are lovely. As I said, those AliExpress pedals, €10, as long as you're not too worried about weight. Just great grip and a great platform size to put your foot on. This is a Sala Italia X3 seat, really comfortable, no issues with that, just something I had lying around the shed. And this seat post had a little bit of a mark on it, but nothing to write home about, and overall in really good condition. This frame, glad I could save it, to be honest. So overall, I'm really lucky to have built this bike up. It's an absolutely beautiful frame, and I did complement it with a Shimano DR front shifter and rear derailleur with a clutch on it in the end. So if you like this and you want to see more builds, there's a couple more coming. Old GT, maybe some newer stuff coming up. Hope you enjoyed this. Might do a ride review on this at some stage. That's all.